Carolina Panthers head into the 2022 offseason with a big question mark at the quarterback position. There are new reports saying that they are looking to answer this question by talking to a fellow NFC team. Mize, I know you have the story there.
Yes, Nick. SKOR's North's Judd Zulgad. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but any name that starts with a Z, I'm probably gonna pronounce it wrong, but we'll go with that. Has reported that the Vikings have received a call from the Carolina Panthers inquiring about the veteran quarterback Kirk Cousins. Now, there has been no deal made. There really wasn't. It was just a call. A seed was planted. There was a conversation that was had. Nothing has come out of it yet. But what this leads us into seeing is Matt Rhule and the Carolina Panthers seem pretty desperate to get a quarterback. They are not happy with what they have, and they are shopping around the league trying to figure out who's available, who's not available. And we've always said Kirk Cousins is a guy that can win football games. He puts up numbers. He is above the Dalton line. He's a quarterback that if you get him at a reasonable price, he's not bad to have. And he's certainly better than Teddy Bridgewater. He's certainly better than Cam Newton right now. He's certainly better than anyone that Carolina Panthers have on their team. What does this mean to you, Nick?
So after two double-digit loss seasons, Matt Rhule, in order to save his job, needs the Panthers to be relevant. They don't need to go out there and win the Super Bowl or even make a deep playoff run. They need to be relevant. They need to be decent. They need to be okay. They need to be, competitive. Week 18, week 17, they need to be fighting for a playoff berth. Kirk Cousins, throughout his career, has never been stellar. He's never been a superstar. But every team he's been on, Washington and Minnesota, he's brought them the relevance. He took Washington to the playoffs. He took Minnesota to the playoffs. He won a playoff game in Minnesota. He beat Drew Brees in a playoff game in Minnesota, right? So Kirk Cousins can take a team and make them relevant. Is he going to take them to the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. But right now, the Panthers and Matt Rhule are looking for a way to just get back to relevant because they've been really, really bad the last 2 years. And they're in a division, right? You got the Bucs. They're reloading with Brady leaving. The Saints, they're in salary cap disaster. Sean Payton's gone. Drew Brees is gone. Who knows what quarterback is right there? The Falcons, they have a really old Matt Ryan. We don't know how good the roster is going to be. That is a winnable division if you have an above average quarterback. And I think Carolina doing everything they can to try and get a guy like Kirk Cousins shows that, hey, look, they think this is an opportunity for them. And Kirk Cousins could be that guy to get them in that mix in that division.
Now, there's two things that I want to bring up. One is the Vikings' response to the story. This is what they said. They say, let's put a pin in that conversation. We don't plan to move on him now. So there's two things. They don't plan on moving to him. They probably didn't plan for the Carolina Panthers to give them a call, and they said to move on him now. So at this point in time, they probably haven't looked at the situations, looked at the draft capital, maybe saw who would be available at pick number 6 in the draft. They haven't really thought everything out. They haven't compared Malik Willis to, Kirk Cousins yet. They haven't got all of their ducks in a row. So they didn't plan on this. It happened out of the blue. So, of course, they didn't plan on moving on him. And as of this point in time, they don't have a contingency plan for if they traded Cousins. So, yes, I wouldn't strike this out at all. I think that's just, coach speak for, hey, he's our guy until he's not our guy. But the second part is from the Carolina Panthers perspective here. Matt Rhule, like you said, 2 double-digit loss seasons. And let's be honest, if he doesn't perform a miracle this season, he's gone. He's going to no longer be the Carolina Panthers head coach if he does not have a successful 2022 season. Okay? So getting desperate, calling teams, trying to grab a quarterback who you think is going to put you over the edge in Kirk Cousins, maybe even try to, bundle draft picks, players, get Adam Thielen in the mix, anybody who could give you immediate success. I think that's a good move for Matt Rhule if he wants any chance to keep his job. So this is what I'm getting from all of this story, and I think it's an interesting storyline for us to follow.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think the big point here is that Kirk Cousins has all of the leverage. If Kirk Cousins gets cut today, the Vikings owe him $35 million. He has 1 year left on his deal, $45 million this year. Kirk Cousins is making bank. It is all in his court. So if, in order for the Panthers, they're going to have to be willing to pay it for Kirk Cousins, both in draft picks to the Vikings to get him, and then they're going to have to sign him to a big deal to kind of restructure, that major cap hit, because the Panthers don't have the cap room just to take on that $45 million hit with Kirk Cousins coming over to Carolina. So right now, no matter what, if Kirk Cousins gets cut, he gets $35 million. If he plays a year with Minnesota, he gets $45. Even if he gets traded to the Panthers, we're talking about probably an $80 million plus payday in a contract restructuring. So Kirk Cousins is the big winner here. But I agree, this is going to be an interesting story to follow, and we're going to have to keep an eye on this one.